Happy New Year. Making our first video of the new year. And it's gonna be kind of a boring one, but we thought we'd get some on there. Some footage. Gotta take down Christmas. We've pretty much taken down everything inside, got the tree all taken down, but we're gonna have a fun project to show you with our Christmas tree. I don't know if it'll be in this video or an upcoming video, but wanted to show you guys one of the presents I got. This is a chest plate thing for my phone with the little bracket and everything. It also comes with a head mount, so I can start giving like POV shots on the homestead as I'm doing projects and as we're walking around doing stuff. Hey girls.
Hi.
Want to say Happy New Year to everyone?
Happy New Year.
All right. So I'm going to get this figured out, put on, and go outside and start taking down lights out there. And then we'll do the Christmas tree project, which is really cool. It's a way to connect Christmas and Easter using your Christmas tree. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's a tradition in our house, and we're going to share it with all of you. All right? We'll get to you. So I've got it on, and it fits. What's going to be weird is figuring out, like, what tilt I want it at. And obviously I could change that while filming something, but just for walking around purposes, what it would be like. But I'm going to try and move so I don't see Shauna in the shot because she doesn't want to be in the shot. But this is me walking through our lovely cluttered post-Christmas house. And there's the girls playing on their tablets. And Ruth is wearing the headband. Just because she wants to wear the headband. And walking. So this is going to be an experimental video to see if this is more annoying for you guys or something that you like. So make sure to give us some feedback on that. And again, our lovely post-Christmas clutter. And you can see through the window out there, well, maybe not glare. So this is an option too. The headband. I don't know if this will be really strange walking around with it like this. It's not quite as subtle as a GoPro, but we'll give this a shot a little bit too. This will get taken some getting used to. I can't speak right now. Okay. The first thing gotta do is open up the shed because we're going to put Christmas away. Yep, it's locked. Door can be temperamental. Yes, we have lots of clutter, just like everybody else in the world. So, I'm going to get stuff going. Come over here. And, thought my tripod was over here. Maybe it's in the mudroom. It is. You know, with the weather being more mild, I should probably try to get these blackberry bush and then the blueberry bushes planted. Picking up the soil probably would be a good idea. So, the reason I'm getting the tripod is I want to be able to use stuff in tandem. So we have wide shots and we also have the POV shots just to give a little bit more interest to the videos. So it's using my other camera here to set up. I think this makes sense. So we'll get this set up so you can see what I'm doing here. We've got lights to take down there. And here we go. This is now a video of me taking a video of me taking a video. Craziness ensues. So, well, just, I'm gonna back this up a little bit more. Here. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do this. 2 cameras, and we have the ability even to do a third. Don't know if we're gonna do it. Oh, the other gift I didn't get was I've got a microphone. I'm not gonna worry about setting that up. Maybe when I start to do the tree part of the project, we'll set that up and use it and see what kind of a difference it makes. And then it'll be in the same video, and you guys can hear definitely the difference, if there is a difference. But we're gonna get started. I think I'm gonna angle this up slightly so get a little bit more perspective of what I'm doing. That's gonna be the trick with this, is figuring out at what point, like as I'm working on a project, what's the best angle to have the camera on the chest, or if I have it on my head, is going to work out best for seeing what I'm doing and knowing that it's never going to be perfect. There's always going to be differences you could do that would make it better, worse, so on and so forth. And I should probably get the box out. So this is also another thing, is getting used to having this on my chest and not trying to not knock it or bump it while I'm doing stuff. So in that regard, probably sometimes wearing the head gear would probably make some of that a little easier, potentially. But maybe not. We'll just have to see. Okay. Let me go get the bin that this all goes into. Oh, I hope that's not sun glare too much for you guys. Sorry. So we didn't really go that nuts with the decorations this year, even though in the past I kind of like to do it up good. Mainly because half the lights we brought with us were kind of shoddy working anyway, and I just didn't want to spend the money at this time to get new ones. So we just did very simple. Trust me, as the years go on, they'll get more involved, more complicated, just because, I don't know, I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed having good decorations. I'm kind of a Clark Griswold in that respect. like having lights that cause them to turn on the auxiliary power at the nuclear power plant. But now we've got our own solar system to suck power out of, or I guess batteries at nighttime if we're on that system. And yeah, that's Christmas music playing in the background. It's the band Koine. Listen to a lot. And here's the thing, it's still Christmas, guys. My wife might have a contention with that because she's very animate about not having Christmas music played too early or too late. But it is, wait for that car to pass, it is still the Christmas season according to the church calendar year. Christmas lasts up through Epiphany, so usually 2 or 3 weeks of Christmas depending on the year. So as long as it is still Christmas in the church, we will allow Christmas music, but hymns, not jingle bells and not all the other secular ones. Hymns, because the reality is it's always Christmas in the church year, because just as it is always Easter, with the exception of Lent, when we meditate on the darkness of the world. There's nothing wrong with celebrating Christmas biblically all year. All these lights down, all the garland down. Take this black bin back over here, and we'll get all of the lights that Nana got us on sale, because that's what Nanas like to do, is go to shop for sales and deals, especially after Christmas ones, and she got us a bunch of lights. So tested and see what we got. Got a bunch of mini lights, strands, icicle lights. We liked icicle lights back in Washington. I think we'll like them again here. Get in there. So put the lid on. Okay, good. Get some clippers here. Now, I could do this with a reciprocating saw with power and everything, but you know, it's just as easy to do it with these, and just don't have to get out the power tools and run the extension cord. I know I could get a battery operated one, and maybe someday, oh, I gotta close the, maybe someday I will. Maybe it will be something I use my gift card that I got for Christmas for Harbor Freight. But since I have a perfectly good reciprocating saw now, I don't feel the need to replace it just because it's a corded one. So let's not get you guys with sun glare. Set you up very patriotically in the background there. So this is a very simple project, very not too difficult, but what we like to do is we like to take our Christmas tree and give it an extended life. Now, I know that one of the new things is recycling them, where you actually take them back to the farm or plant them and they grow back and everything like that. We might do that at some point, but we like this tradition too, where we actually turn this into a cross. We take all the limbs off. We use some of the longer ones to de-needle it, and usually have to, you know, kind of string them together using some twine. But we then make this a cross. We light it with just simple white lights, And it's a reminder of the connection for us between Christ's birth and then his death for our sins. And it's just a wise way to keep that connection. It's a visual, symbolic connection, reminder of that event, of those two events being connected. You can't have Christ's redeeming work without his birth, and his birth would be meaningless without his redemptive work for our salvation. So just get this on film for you guys, see what we do with it, how we do it. It's pretty simple, straightforward, and the way we do it isn't necessarily the way that it has to be done. You can emulate this in any way that you want to, and we invite you to take this tradition up and carry it on. And if you've already gotten rid of your tree for this year, that's okay. It's something you can keep in mind for next year, or you can find another thing, other bits of branches, wood around your property, and do it anyway. Now, I really don't worry about keeping these upper branches because they usually aren't stout enough or long enough to serve as cross members, but I don't make that decision until I've got it all blopped off and we're left with the bare trunk. In case it hasn't been clear already, the trunk here is going to be the cross, the vertical part of the cross. Then we take the branches and weave them together to make the cross on the cross. You know what I mean. And obviously we've left it in its tree stand because then it just makes it easier to stand up. I think if I remember right, growing up, maybe I can find a picture of that, but I think growing up we would actually either just lean it against the house, or maybe my dad might have mounted it against the house. Let's see if I can ask him and if he remembers what he did, and maybe he did it differently each year. I don't know. And I won't worry about the little tiny branches that are tucked way down in there. They're not gonna bother this in any way. Now you try to go through and find your stoutest, thickest branches that would make good cross members. You know, you should be able to find enough to make this work. And if it doesn't, plan B always is, I think I'm gonna cheat. It's not cheating, it's utilizing resources that you have. Let's go hunting for twine. If I need to, I'll use just regular string. And you can use the regular string. There's nothing wrong with using regular string. I like using twine because it kind of tends to blend in more with the background, you know, the wood and everything like that. We're using regular string, not so much. So I think Shauna has the twine back in here somewheres. If not, I can go ask her. I'm not seeing it. I thought I'd seen it back there. She doesn't have it just out here somewhere. Oh, even better. Even better. We can recycle twine. Here. Recycling twine from our tomatoes. Now this stuff's going to be brittle and it might just break. But reusing stuff on the homestead, utilizing the resources that you have to the best of your ability and to as long as you can. See, I can just rip these apart, but they should still be stout enough to hold together for what I need. Let's see, I'm gonna grab it from this other one too. Hey ladies, what you doing? Huh? You think I'm gonna come give you some mealworms? I think Cora should have already done that. I can ask her if she has. If she hasn't, I'll have her come give you some. But probably just being your regular greedy selves, wanting treats whenever I come around. Okay, awesome. Got some twine to recycle Love it. Love, love, love the recycle. Close this back up. Now, got recycled twine here. And just pull out a piece, short piece here. Now, let me at least go over with you what I would do with this. It should be pretty straightforward and obvious, but basically just use the twine, and it doesn't have to be overly pretty, but you're just wrapping it up together. So like this is one that I'm just putting together, just wrap it around a couple times. You can double back a little bit, and then just to make it a longer piece, or sometimes a more substantial piece, just tie them together like so. And then you don't need to make a fancy knot, because you know they will hold together no matter really how you do it. Just a simple double knot should suffice. Just make sure you leave leave enough room on the twine to do it with, and boom, you got a cross member, and it comes up and you put it on like so. So these are really the only two branches that were big enough for it, so I'm going to supplement with these cedar ones left over from cutting down the cedar trees earlier. So we'll just get some of the burrs off of these. Now, proportion is important. You don't want the cross members to be significantly bigger than the cross itself. So what I'm just going to do is take probably just my two longest, straightest pieces, not necessarily the thickest, and I'll just bind them together. Now, you can be a little judicial here. I've got a nice little, here, I'll get it with this nice little member here, so I can actually use that as my spot. I know, almost sit on there. But, you know, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can kind of eyeball it. But you get it on there in a way that you can then lash it with the twine. Normally I would lash these together and then lash it, but I think, well, you know what I can do? You can lash them together a little bit here and still have twine left over to start the other lash. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tie this on this end, and then I'm going to go put this on here. I'm just gonna eyeball it, and I'm gonna start lashing it together. Now, lashing pattern, let me try and get this, okay, is I like to, you want to vary it with the lashing pattern. You don't always want to put it going in the same direction like that, but you also don't want it crossing always in the front or always in the back. You kind of want to try to double it up, so vary it every now and then by going around and changing directions. Okay. And just enough wiggle room to be able to pull that through. I didn't even need all that twine. Do it all with one. There we go. All right. So now that's like that, and then I just do a nice little simple double knot. Now, this also is okay if it's not perfect, because the lights, did I tell you we're gonna light this? Yeah. The lights will help give it a little extra hold together. Boom, we've got our cross. Like I said, utilizing the branches from here would have done, you know, the same effect. And if you want to, you can go ahead and put those on if you have to use some cedar branches. I'm not going to because we're going to light it and we'll just burn this. Now with the lights, again, preference is yours. We like to use white lights. You can use white lights on a green string, where I'm using white lights on a white string because we have it. And this is a fresh string, so I know it's going to work. How you put it on here doesn't really matter. I don't use staples or ties or anything. I just wrap it around and it kind of just self-supports. What I do recommend is, depending on how you're going to have it lit or plugged in, make sure you put the plug end somewhere where it's going to make the most sense. Now, for us, you know, actually I'll use my body. So for us, we've got, it's going to be plugged in there. So I could have it near the top or near the bottom, either way. Probably going to have it a little bit out from the house. So again, doesn't matter if it's coming from the top or from the bottom. Just bear in mind, however long your cord is before that first light, like see on here, there's not that much distance. So if it's coming off of the top and going up, it'll look like the cross has a little light string coming from it. Whereas if it's near the bottom, near the ground, or even near the middle, it'll be kind of more concealed by the cross itself and not look all kind of weird, funky. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Now, something else I like to do, hopefully this is on here better than just the wide shot, but I like to split this and put it on to start it, and then I can just kind of double itself back on itself. Am I saying that right? Do its own. Now, I've also found that very often I will double up. So I'll go all the way down, all the way across, and then back again. Just based on the number of lights that I typically end up using. I try not to have it too heavily lit in one particular area. But again, it's one of those things of, you do what you do, and sometimes works out great, other times works out okay. I never say that it works out bad, because that would imply that the way it worked out was not the way it was supposed to. Which I don't think anything ever works out the way it's not supposed to. I think we make choices, and those choices have consequences. And those consequences are either in line with God's plan or they're not. So, you know, you do the best that you can. And sounds like the evening bark is in full swing. I don't know how many of you know what I'm referencing there. The 101 Dalmatians, the evening bark. So sounds like Pongo and Bertita are lost the Dalmatians again, or Cruella's stolen them. Okay, so you see how I've got this now kind of at the bottom, or the cross of the cross. And I am just going to use a little bit of twine just to kind of help keep the tension on it a little bit. It's ready to come on over here. And we can decide exactly where we want it, but I think around here. You know what? We'll move the ladder out the way. And we have a lit cross. And that's it. That is our Christmas tradition to connect it to Easter. You'll see how that looks later on when the sun goes down. So here is what it looks like at night. We have our porch light off, which we normally do after we go to bed or when we're in for the evening. Pretty much out at the street. So, you know, it's just a nice, as we said, a nice connection. So we're also, I'm also out here. I have the microphone, the little lavalier microphone that was another Christmas present that I said that I would hook up and test when we were making the project, and I forgot to do that. So this part is with that microphone on and attached. And that's so we'll see how the audio difference is with Christmas tradition. The microphone on and you'll see how without the microphone on and see how you guys like that. But it's just a nice way to, as we said, connect the birth of Christ to his redemptive work for us on the cross. And we leave this up through Good Friday. That's when it goes out. And then we have Easter, and Christ is victorious, our sins are forgiven, and our salvation is assured. So hope you've enjoyed this little tradition, or us sharing it with you. We invite you to participate with it, and give me some feedback on this. Obviously it's going to depend on how I edit it together and whether or not it works or just makes you nauseous. And you know, the more I use it, the more I get comfortable with it, the more it can help. So I invite your comments, but please be judicious and constructive in your criticism if possible. Much appreciated. So with that, God be with you all in all that you do. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and we will see you later. Keep the faith, keep up the fight.